Good afternoon. This is Ronald Allen, managing life's changes. And today, as you'll shortly see, is our first snowstorm. You can see parts of it behind me. And even though it was a light feathering, certainly very light, it is definitely cold. Many of you have had to go out and seek your sustenance, your groceries, maybe even certainly going to work. And others, like ourselves, have chosen to come out here and enjoy the cold, sharp chill of the season. Allow me to share with you that we frequent. This is the back of our house, and we have a 1.7-mile walk. That's Mira and my wife with just two of our dogs. Sanji on the left, T-Bird, a pit bull on the right. Sanji is a bull mastiff. My discussion today is all about appreciating one's life. And it's a big topic because at any one time, we have had to experience life's challenges, and I mean serious challenges. Yes, starting off in life, finding a mate, settling down, developing and securing one's education are the more immediate for those of those age groups. What we've found as we continue through to traverse life is that many of our beliefs, many of our social systems of addressing life will be challenged. At my age, 60 plus, going on 6, I am working and have a contract with the Behavioral Health Organization, and I work with anywhere from literally 13 through 21 years old with behavioral and developmental challenges. It taught me, the last 6 months of my contract, that there are many possibilities that our life could have taken, the paths, the occurrences of situations, all come down to decisions, all come down to, in some cases, decisions and activities that are beyond our control, or as I like to say, beyond our management, that they would actually occur. What I've also realized, it's not just a matter of, say, being empathetic or even sorry for, and even trying to help people in those conditions. I think the real message, the real benefit, is understanding another aspect of yourself, of your personality, of your capabilities. I have learned and realized that we are not as good as, shall I say, well put together as we would believe when we find ourselves out of our comfort zone. Some people in the personal and professional development environment will say you should put yourself in an uncomfortable position. To a point, I agree, because that therein lies the learning possibilities. Therein lies true personal development, where you begin to subscribe to a new set of concepts. Thank you very much, Lucia Levy, for watching. Appreciate that. You can see from, and this, by the way, my surroundings, let me just give you a quick 360. My surroundings, this is my think tank. And when I come out of working with youth that are seriously challenged, and yet they show that primordial need for connecting, that primordial need that says, I am here, I am somebody, let's have a conversation. It is the interest that I can muster in myself to connect with that person that breaks down the generation gap, that I will say, well, educate me. I will say phrases like, well, I'm a human being, let's share a conversation. And in so many cases, so many times when I'm speaking with these youth, they express a certain level of surprise that someone gives a damn. Well, isn't that ironic with the level of divorce that we've experienced across the world? Isn't that ironic with the level of disengagement with the youth across the world? Isn't that ironic with the level of disassociation at work? It's a perpetuation. It's almost like this gully, and as we go through life, we simply repeat this same mantra of disenchantment, becoming apathetic. It is a challenge. And as I've forgotten the term of the lady in The Matrix, she says, it is a pickle. But I like sweet pickles. So I'll throw some in to my conversation now and again. Other areas of appreciating your life is the ability to do something. So, for example, I mentioned to you, this is our really first snowstorm. Ernest, thank you for checking in. This is our really first snowstorm, and as I mentioned, it's really not much of a snowstorm. It's just a dusting. Many of us will choose to stay inside. Is that because of the weather? Is that because the temperature is supposed to be cold? Or, as I've found in my studies of human behavior, cognitive learning, we have been taught to remove ourselves, to dumb ourselves, not just from life, not just from learning, but from, more importantly, from our own interests. Absolutely suicidal, absolutely cannibalistic about it. Why want to come out in this crisp air, unless of course it's medical reasons, physical limitations? One has to be more inclusive and eclectic, and I've always loved that word, eclectic, in how we communicate with one another. But why wouldn't you want to come out? Allow me just to share with you the silence of where, and I'll do another 360 so you can get a real view. And this is just literally walking distance from my home. That's how quiet it is here. Do you have to go and pay hard-earned money to sit in someone's sofa lounge in a community setting to find a place to meditate? Maybe some of us can meditate literally in our baths while we're having a soak, a good soak. Maybe some of us will meditate through exercising, where we clear our minds. Why? Because we can, and there is no other or further explanation, no other reason nor explanation that we need to provide, because it gives us a chance to rejuvenate. Many of us may not be aware that when you sleep, that is actually the whole point, where the brain begins to reconnect, the body begins to re-heal. And in many cases, when we do have those nightmarish sleeps, it is telling us something. Once again, the ability and the respect for our personal selves, our mental state of mind, and our physical requirements. Let me also share with you another perspective that I've learned while being in the behavioral sciences and working, as they say, at ground zero. In studying and working with two psychiatrists, which are very different in terms of their community. One is a Park Avenue lady, very well known, and just the rent alone, one can guess that her revenue is significant, very significant. The other psychiatrist travels the world, and makes a modest living based on the level of intelligence and capabilities that he possesses, very much like my, I say, mentor, who is teaching me the ins and outs, the technicals, the fundamentals of both the business, the art and science, and the knowledge that you need to be able to work with different people. What I've found out is that those psychiatrists and sociologists who work face-to-face, as they say, client-facing, will spend anywhere from 6 to maybe even 10 years getting their high level of designations, of course their credentials and academics. And unfortunately, it's reported that maybe 75–80% will burn out within 8 months. Now, I don't know about you, but if you take your profession, if you take your level, your area of interest, and you've spent that much time, you've invested time, mental fortitude, I'm sure family, time away from your family, and you've spent 6, 8, 9, 10 years, and then you burn out in 8 months, then to me, that's an opportunity that needs to be addressed. What is also interesting is that it is not just those at the higher end of the academic scale. It is also common to find those who are direct care, like myself as a consultant, maybe paraprofessionals, teachers' aides, and the teachers themselves, because there's no support mechanism. So immediately I say, where is the support mechanism that you have? What is the support mechanism that I created? If we are going to live longer, and we are going to learn from the new technology that's able to expose, educate us, and identify how we really work and how our minds connect visual, physical, and sound stimulation to our anatomy, to our physiology, then how are we using that to improve our outcomes, our perspective, modification, change perspectives on life? Because as we move through life, as we move through time, you're going to find, if you haven't already recognized it, that you have to adjust, very much like a chameleon. And this is very much life and death, because 75% of Americans who experience emotional and mental challenges don't get the health. 63% are not with the right service provider. And unfortunately, 90% of those in the profession burn out. And when I say burn out, they don't just leave the profession, unfortunately. They actually stay in the profession and become the squeaky cog that's not helping. So these are some of the challenges we're going to face as we go forward. These are some of the challenges why you do things just because you can. You've heard me in other live chats talk about doing something because it keeps you out of a negative environment. So many people complain that they're not doing what they want. They're not doing it to the extent that they want. They're not around the kind of people that they would like. Well, I submit to you that at least if you're alive, thinking about it, staying away from the negative, those that would drag you down, crabs in a bucket mentality, you are significantly better off and doing it because you want to than those that don't. Those that have become apathetic, those that have given up. Another area that I've learned in these 6 months that I'm working in the behavioral sciences is that there are some incredible practitioners out here who are doing some very creative, very educational, and very impactful work. Are you reaching out to the best in your profession, in your area of interest, and not worrying about the dirge of noise and negativity that all surrounds all of us? To them, send them an email, give them a call, but attach it to something is very, very frustrating. So I'll leave this with you today about managing life's changes. Do it because you can. Do it because there will come a time in the future, and it will come faster than we believe, that you will not be able to. And most importantly, because you'll be around the kind of community that you will evaluate, you will determine that's healthy for you. So, with the season, I bid you adieu, and we'll continue to post more live chats from time to time. This is Ronald Allen, Managing Life's Changes. Be seeing you.